Welcome to another deep dive. And this one, what's a fascinating one? We're diving into music, math, astronomy, all connected by this guy, Ed Leedskalnin, and his coral castle.
Oh, this is a good one.
It is, right. Our
Mhm.
source material is this, it's a transcribed conversation with Leedskalnin himself, and he makes some pretty out there claims about how he built this coral castle using like techniques that seem impossible.
Yeah, like defying modern engineering kind of stuff.
Totally. And he even says things like astronomers don't know what really causes the seasons, which like come on, that got my attention.
Bold statement. Elite Skellen, he definitely liked to challenge the norm.
Yeah, yeah.
What we're going to try to figure out in this deep dive is there actually something to his ideas? They sound a little crazy, but is there something there?
Okay, so let's just for anyone who needs a reminder, what is Coral Castle? What makes it so fascinating?
Okay, so picture this massive structure, right?
Okay.
And it's built entirely out of coral. Some of these coral blocks, they weigh tons, like
Yeah.
multiple tons.
Wow. And get this, it was all moved and sculpted by one man, a small man.
Ooh.
No heavy machinery, nothing. That's Coral Castle.
That is wild. And he claimed to know like the secrets of the ancient builders, like the Egyptians, and that he was harnessing some hidden power.
Yeah, he was cryptic about it.
Totally. So where do we even start with this?
I think a clue might be in his obsession with astronomy
Okay.
and his sundial
Right?
at Coral Castle. And it's not just any sundial, it's designed to track the analemma.
The what?
The analemma, the figure eight pattern that the sun makes in the sky over a year.
Yeah. Right, the analemma. But remind me, why does the sun make that shape?
It's all about well, there are a few factors. So you got Earth's tilt, right?
Right.
And then our orbit, it's not a perfect circle, it's elliptical.
Right.
And
Wow.
even a little wobble in Earth's rotation.
Mm.
All that combines, and you get this shift, apparent shift, in the sun's position throughout the year.
So that's what creates the analemma. Exactly.
And he carved these figure eights into his sundial.
Yeah, almost like he was trying to map out this like celestial dance.
Okay, but why though? What was he trying to get at?
This is where it gets interesting. So the shape of the analemma, it changes, right, depending on your latitude.
Huh.
So maybe Leedskalnin thought specific locations like Coral Castle had, I don't know, like an energetic significance because of their relationship to the sun's path.
So he wasn't just tracking time.
No.
He was looking for places and times where this hidden force, the one he talked about, where it was stronger.
That's one way to look at it. He really seemed to believe that the ancients, they knew something we've forgotten. And like he saw the analemma as a key to maybe like a cosmic energy grid or something.
Okay, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But let's say he was tapping into some ancient knowledge. What kind of systems would he have been studying?
Well, a lot of ancient cultures like Egyptians, Mayans, they all had these systems of knowledge based on the idea that numbers and shapes, they had hidden meanings.
Oh, right. And our source mentions this connection between ancient Hebrew and math,
Exactly.
like how they use letters as numbers.
Yeah, and that leads to all sorts of interpretations of like the
Huh.
Torah and stuff.
Right, right.
And Leedskalnin could have been doing the same thing, looking for patterns or codes in the analemma. Maybe he thought these codes could unlock the secret to this hidden force.
So, like a Da Vinci Code, but with coral blocks instead of symbols.
Right. But instead of religious secrets, Leedskalnin, he was after maybe like a scientific truth or a mathematical truth hidden in these ancient systems, a way to tap into forces that we don't really get.
Okay, so we've got astronomy, ancient knowledge, all pointing towards this hidden force. But the source also brings up music. What's the connection there?
It's not clear. Leedskalnin doesn't really explain his thinking, but we can guess. I mean, music at its heart is about vibration and frequency.
Right.
And some cultures, ancient cultures, they believed that certain musical ratios and harmonies, they had cosmic significance.
Like the Pythagorean idea that the universe is based on math and that's reflected in music.
Exactly. Pythagoras thought certain musical intervals, they create a kind of universal harmony. And this idea, it stuck around, it influenced Bach and even modern physics. They're studying the vibrational nature of reality.
So Lev Skalnin might have been looking at music not just as art, but as a way to understand the universe, maybe even a way to manipulate it.
It's a cool thought. It makes you wonder, how did he actually move those coral blocks? Could music have played a role?
Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, but before we go there, What is resonance, and how could it affect the physical world?
Okay, so resonance, simplest way to put it, it's when an object vibrates at its natural frequency. You know, like a wine glass shattering when a singer hits the right note?
Yeah, yeah.
That's resonance. But what if Leeds Skelman knew how to manipulate those frequencies on a big scale? Like what if he found a way to resonate with the choral itself?
Wait, that's crazy. But it would explain how he moved those huge blocks.
Right.
But how would he even know how to do that?
Well, that's where maybe his astronomy, his knowledge of ancient systems, maybe even music, all come together.
Okay, I am hooked. We've
Yeah.
set the stage, but there is so much more to unravel here. We'll be right back to keep going with this. So we're talking resonance, right? To move those blocks. But to do that, wouldn't he need like some crazy powerful energy source?
Yeah, that's the big question. And it brings us back to this whole idea of a hidden natural power that Leeds Gownon talked about.
Right, right. Which he never like fully explained.
Nope. But our source, it gives us some hints, some clues.
Okay, like what?
So there's a story about a Bach organ concert
Oh yeah.
during a planetary alignment.
Ah, at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco.
That's the one. And they describe the music like almost as a physical force.
Right, like you could feel it like in your body.
Exactly. And they talk about the pipe organ as like an analog computer, but super complex, a waveform synthesizer even. They say like we can't even build them like that anymore. Like the old masters, they knew how to do it.
It's like they had some lost knowledge of sound and vibration that we don't have anymore.
Right. And what if Lead Skellin rediscovered that knowledge? Like what if he figured out how to use music or like specific frequencies to tack into some powerful energy source?
So we're not talking about just a wine glass vibrating. We're talking about something much bigger, something cosmic.
Yeah, and that's where the analemma comes back in. Remember how its shape changes with location?
Right, right.
Well, maybe Leeds-Gellman thought certain points on the analemma they corresponded to times when this cosmic energy was like stronger, more available.
So it's not just about finding the right frequency. It's also about timing, like
Right.
aligning your actions with these cosmic rhythms.
Yeah, like catching a wave. The good surfer, they know how to read the ocean, you know, they know how to position themselves to get the most power from the wave.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So Leedskalnin, he was doing the same thing, but with celestial cycles.
Could be.
Okay, but what is this force? I mean, the source talks about magnetic currents, cosmic energy, but like, what are those?
I wish I knew. It's the big mystery. We can only guess, try to put the pieces together.
So let's try. Is there anything in science that could explain what he was talking about?
Well, there are some theories. Some people think he might have understood how to manipulate electromagnetic fields.
Okay, yeah.
Others think maybe he discovered some kind of acoustic levitation, using sound waves to lift those heavy blocks.
Acoustic levitation. That sounds like sci-fi.
I know, right? But it's real. Scientists are actually working on that now. It's cutting edge stuff, but it shows you can do some pretty crazy things with sound.
Wow. So so maybe Leedskalnin, he figured out something similar.
Maybe. And think about it. He did build this massive structure all by himself.
Yeah.
So we got to be open to the possibility that he was working with forces that we just don't fully understand yet. Forces that might even change how we think about physics.
Like there's a whole hidden science of sound out there.
Maybe, but if it's real, why haven't we explored it more?
Right. Why is it hidden?
Well, Lead Skellnan, he was kind of a loner. He didn't really share his secrets, and even if he did, who would believe him?
Yeah, people tend to dismiss anything that doesn't fit with what they already know. What if he was right though?
That's what's so exciting about this. It makes us question everything, rethink what's possible.
And to think, this all started with a guy in his coral castle in Florida.
Yeah, sometimes the biggest discoveries come from the most unexpected places.
So true. This has been amazing. But we're not done yet. We'll be back in a minute to wrap things up and talk about what all this means, what it means for us and for our understanding of the universe. Stick with us. Okay, so we've gone deep into Ed Leedskalnin and his coral castle. I feel like I don't know, like I just got back from a trip through time or something. We talked about ancient knowledge, cosmic energy, music, even acoustic levitation. My brain is it's full.
Yeah, it definitely stretches, stretches what we think is possible. But that's what's so cool about Lead Skellman's story, right? It makes us question everything we thought we knew. Like maybe there's more to reality than we realize.
Totally. Like a wake-up call to never stop asking questions, never stop exploring. But what about our listeners? What can they take away from all this? How can they like use these ideas in their own lives, even if they're not building giant coral structures?
I think I think even if we leave aside the really out there stuff, like the levitation and all that, even then there's still a lot we can learn from Leedskalnin just from how he approached problems. He was a master of observation,
Yeah.
always experimenting, and he wasn't afraid to think differently.
He was a true innovator. He
Yeah.
took this ancient wisdom and combined it with modern ideas.
Hmm.
And maybe that's the lesson here. To be more like Ed Leedskalnin, be curious, try new things, and don't just dismiss something because it seems impossible.
I love that. Leedskalnin, he showed us what humans are capable of.
Oh,
It's a reminder that we can achieve amazing things if we use our knowledge or creativity and if we're willing to push the limits of what we think is possible.
that's a great way to put it. It's inspiring. So to all of you listening, keep exploring, keep questioning, stay curious. Who knows what you might discover, right?
Maybe the answers are already there, right in front of us, just hidden. And all we need to do is open our minds and really see.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. But keep thinking about these ideas, keep those questions coming, and we'll see you next time as we continue to explore, well, explore the world of ideas.